open your book to page 409. Today's lesson is on sketching the polar equations. And so let's go to example 2. Example 2, you want to graph r equal to 4 cosine theta. Now from previous lesson, you learned how to making graph by making a table, but that is very tedious and take too long. So you can do a little bit quicker sketching by knowing the certain characteristic of the graph. So the way to do this is that by noting the A and the B. So over here, this is your A equal to 4. Over here, your B equal to 1. So when you graph, for the cosine graph, if you look at the handout over here, so think of it as like a flower, and so the B will control the number of petals. Okay, so like if B equal to 1, you're going to have 1 petal. Okay, and for cosine, it starts at 0 degree, and you draw a circle. So and the A determines the length of each petal, okay, or the leaves. So A equal to 4, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And when B equal to 1, you get one petal, and the length, and you start with start on a 0 degree. Okay. Now so by knowing that, now when B is odd number, you're going to have same number of petals as a B. Now if it's even, you get double. So like this over here. So compare the two. So if you look over here, so this one is 1 theta, so you get 1 petal, right? This one is 2 theta, so you get 4 of them, right? You get double. Again, and notice all of them will space out evenly. So there are 4 of them, so there are 4 leaves, right? And there are 360 degrees. So you divide by 4, you get 90 degrees on each one. Again, you start at 0. And the more leaves you have, the more skinnier each leaf will be, right? Or each petal, right? And again, so the 4 is the length. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the length of each petal, right? And then again, B is even, so it'll be double, so it'll be 4. So you get 4 of them. Since there are 4 of them, they'll be 90 degrees apart. So you start at 0, and you get 90, 180, 270, right? And when you go to 3, again, 4 is the length of each petal. Again, for cosine, it starts at the 0. The first petal is always start at 0 degree. And so the B is 3, so 3 theta, so it means you're going to get 3 leaves. And so since there are 360 divided by 3, you get 120 degrees apart. So first one is 0, the next one would be 120 degrees, and next one would be 240 degrees. Okay? And you just draw the leaves. Again, the higher the number, the higher the B, the skinnier would be for each leaves. Okay. Now if you do the sine, it's the same thing, except there's going to be a rotation. Okay. So for the rotation, the amount of rotation so there's going to be a rotation. So the rotation is going to be equal to 90 degrees divided by B. Okay. So in this case, the B is 1. So for sine function, there would be a rotation. So 90 divided by 1, so there would be a 90 degree rotation. So first one would be at 90 degrees. And again, the 4 would give you the length. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And there would be one petal or 1 leaf, right? And when you have only 1, it's going to be a perfect circle. Okay. Now you go over here. So in this case, so if you're going to graph r equal to 4 sine of 2 theta, right? So this will give you the length, and this will give you 4 leaves or 4 petals, right? And the rotation, because this is sine, so there'll be a rotation. The rotation would be 90 divided by B, right? B is 2, so 90 divided by 2. So rotation would be 45 degrees. So the first one at 45 degrees. And because there are 4 petals, so each one would be 90 degrees apart. So first one would be 45 degrees, and you go 90 more, go 90 more, go 90 more, and that's how you get a graph. Okay? And then when you're doing this one over here, r equal to 4 sine of 3 theta. Okay, so again, the length would be 4. Right? Again, this is the length. And this is the B. So this, since this R number, you get 3 petals, right? And the rotation would be equal to 90 degrees divided by B. So rotation will equal to 30 degrees. So the first one, you're going to start. So here, the first one is going to start at 30 degrees. And because there are 3 of them, so each one is going to be 120 degrees apart. So from here, so 30, you go another 120, you get 150. Go another 120, you're going to get 270. Again, all the petals will be evenly spaced. So there are 3 petals, so 360, right? One circle is 360 divided by 3, you get 120 degrees apart. Okay, so this is this kind of type. You got A sine B theta or A cosine B theta. So this type, okay, this one does not have a K. Now let's go to example. Let's go to example 3 on page 411. Example 3. You want to sketch r equal to 5 plus 5 cosine theta. So with this kind, there's a K. So for this kind, you just have to make 4 points. So let's go and look at some of this example over here. Instead of using example 3, let's look at the characteristic of these. So for this one over here, again, for this type, all you have to do is making, so you have the equation 4, r equal to 4 plus 2 cosine theta, right? So make a table. So here's your theta and r, right? Just like before, but you want to get the 4 key points. So you're going to at 0 degree, so r equal to, so cosine of 0 is 1. You want to work backwards, so you can do it in your head. Cosine of 0 degree is 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 4 equal to 6. Okay, at 90 degrees, so you go every 90 degrees. Cosine of 90 degrees is 0. 0 times 2 is 0, plus 4 is 4. So, and that's why when at 0 degree, you get 6. At 90 degrees, you get 4. And then at 180 degrees, cosine of 180 is negative 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 4 is equal to 2. So at over here, you get 2. And when you draw, right, it's not going to be like an oval or it's going to be a nice circle. It's going to be a little bit of indentation over here. So there's a little bit indent. Okay, so. And again, all you have to do is just sketching. Again, this is not graphing, just sketching. So have a rough idea of what this looks like. Okay. And then you go to 270 degrees. So 270, r is going to equal to, cosine of 270 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0, plus 4 is 4. So again, at 0, you get 4. And so you can get this key point and just connect the dots and that's it. Okay. And now for this one, you don't have to worry about rotation. For this type, don't worry about rotation. Just do the same thing. Get these 4 values and just connect the dots. Okay. And so let's go and do this one here. So if you have r equal to 2 plus 4 cosine of theta, so you can make a so you get 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees. So at 0 degrees, cosine of 0 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So r equal to 6. So that's 6 over here. Now for 90 degrees, cosine of 90 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0, plus 2 equal to 2. So you get 2 over here. And at 180 degrees, cosine of 180 is negative 1. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4, plus 2 will give you negative 2. And so here's your 180 degrees, and the radius is negative 2, so it's end up right over here. And so so over here, and it will go through here. It will go through the origin. So there's a little loop like this. So you have to recognize when you have the negative radius, it's going to be there's an inner loop over here. And this one is r equal to 2, right? So loop out. So just be aware that whenever it's a negative, it will cause there's an inner loop. Okay. So So if they are the same, so if this number, if k is bigger than a, you're going to have bulging out like that. If they are equal, you're going to get exactly like this, okay? And when the k is smaller, you're going to have an inner loop. So that's something you kind of have to recognize, okay? So again, over here, now again, because sine, the b is 1, so that's going to be rotation of 90 degrees. But in this case, you don't have to worry about that. Just go and make the table, plot the points. Again, k is bigger, so you're going to have a bulging out from here. If k and a are same, you're going to get exactly point over here. And if the k is smaller than 8, you're going to get inner loop like that, okay? And so that's how you do the graphing, do the sketching for this type. So when you have the k in your equation, just go and make the table and get those 4 points, okay? If you don't have a k with this kind, you just kind of do what we did earlier. Just go ahead and notice the length and the location of each leaf, okay? So again, just make sure you go over the handout and kind of note the characteristics of each graph.